Webinar's now streaming.
I streamed. We're recording. I'm going to watch Facebook for questions. If I can get there. And we'll go from there. Question is, I just always need to be able to see the... okay. I'm going to try, you guys. One of my downfalls with my morning meetings, you guys, is watching questions on Facebook. So that is going to be my goal for tonight, since I'm just going to be a moderator for these guys for tech tips and troubleshooting. So my goal is I'm going to try to watch questions and give them questions in case you guys have questions on Facebook. So welcome to Wednesday Wolfpack Technology Tips and Troubleshooting. I am only going to be the moderator tonight, and Greg Gibson, one of the assistant principals at West Valley, and Miss Cheryl Benedix, our librarian, are going to go through some questions that we've gotten, some regular troubleshooting issues that we've worked on with families. And then if you have any questions, you can put those on Facebook. Fingers crossed that I'm gonna get those to them so they can answer them. So I will let Greg and Cheryl introduce themselves. I'm gonna disappear, and then if anything comes up, I will give it over. I'll let them know.
Okay, so I guess I will go first. As Ms. Gilm said, I'm Greg Gibson. I'm the assistant principal at West Valley, and between Cheryl and I, we generally have our first stop in terms of technology troubleshooting at West Valley. So we're going to try and go over some things that we've run across as we've been working with students and staff and parents over the first week and a half of school so far. So I'm going to share my screen because I got some things set up that I want to kind of show on there. And while I'm doing that, I think the first thing that I want to talk about is we have, I think, 430 students that have checked out a Chromebook from us, which is awesome. But actually the term Chromebook and Chrome get confused or kind of interchanged sometimes, and they're two very different things. So I kind of wanted to talk about those to start with. A Chromebook is an actual device, like a computer, like a laptop. It looks like a laptop, functions a lot like a laptop. It's designed to work specifically with Google Chrome, the browser, and Google tools like Google Slides and Google Docs and Google Sheets, things like that, Google Classroom. The kind of tricky part with what we're doing with this remote learning is that a student that has checked out a Chromebook has to sign into that Chromebook while they have internet access. They have to sign into it with their student Google account, and then that gets them into the Chromebook. It also usually logs them into their Google account so that they then have access to Google Docs and Google Slides. However, once in the Chromebook, there is the ability to kind of switch to different Google accounts. And that's kind of our first troubleshooting tip, is that when a student is doing anything for school, they need to make sure that they are signed into their student Google account. And hopefully, if I did this right, I'm sharing a screen that looks like just a blank Google page. And the way to check if you are signed into your student Google account is if you are on a Google page, up at the top right, you should see an avatar. Sometimes it's just a letter, a colored letter. If you have changed that letter to a different avatar, then you might, like I've put in a Bitmoji for me. If you hover over it, it'll show you the current active account, or you can actually click on it and it'll show you the active account that you're currently using. You can see this is my school district account that I'm using right now. You may see down here where there are other accounts, if a student or someone that's used that Chromebook has signed in to other Google accounts, they might show up down here. A lot of times a student will have signed into a personal Google account, and that might be the active account, and they'd see their student down here. If that's the case and their active account is not their student account, they're going to have issues trying to get in the classroom, trying to join Google Meets. All they have to do is click on this icon, come in here, and select the right account and make it the active account. So that was kind of the first thing I wanted to talk about. Hopefully that makes sense. And Cheryl, feel free to mention if I don't mention anything, if I don't mention something about that. I think the next thing that I was going to talk about was, Sarah, I got an email that says Facebook Live link for text session isn't working. So I don't know if you got that email too.
I did not, but I will do a little digging and check.
Okay.
One thing I was gonna say, when you're showing them that, also up there, I know a lot of the kids that are the new kids that have just come in, they might be in their Google like this, but they don't know where their Google Mail is. So they need to show them where they can check on that the little waffle, they call it, or whatever, beside. Yeah, and that'll show them where their Google Mail is. Because we've had a few of the kids call, "Where's my mail? Where's my mail?"
Yeah, which transitions into the next thing is that all Google tools can be found in this little waffle. We call it the waffle icon. That's right next to that avatar icon. If you click on it, it's just 9 dots in a square pattern. You click on that, and you get access to kind of all of the Google tools available for the active account. And as Ms. Benedix was just mentioning, the little M, Gmail, that's the email account that's associated with the student account. That's where all of their teachers are sending information to the students. That's where they would have gotten emails about how to join Google Classroom, how to join the virtual meetings that they're doing for classes. You'll also see that this is where they could access their drive. Hopefully the classroom icon is showing up in their doc sheets. I mean, this is a great kind of access pathway to a lot of the different tools that are being used by teachers while we're in this fully remote situation. The third thing I'm going to mention, and then I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl, she can talk for a bit, is as a parent, if you're working with your kid, there's kind of 2 distinct platforms that we have to make sure are separate. One is, we've mentioned already, Google Classroom. Google Classroom is the method in which our teachers are trying to deliver materials, digital materials and assignments to your student. And so, they should be able to get to their classroom. Right now, you're looking at the landing page for all of the classrooms that I am a part of. If I was to click on one of those, then I am actually in that particular class, and I have kind of access to a lot of different things in there, which we can talk about a little bit later. So this is where students going to be operating a lot of the time for things that they're doing in their class. They may even get assignments graded within Classroom, but this isn't the place necessarily that students should rely on what their official grade is. Their official grades are kept in PowerSchool, which is a kind of a different place. PowerSchool is the platform that the school district uses to track and record a lot of different things in regards to students as far as attendance and grades, where we kind of keep contact informations and all that kind of stuff. So, and Classroom and PowerSchool don't talk well to each other. So you can't be in one and think suddenly you're going to be seeing current information in the other. It's kind of up to teachers to update back and forth between the two. But the official, in terms of the district, the official grades are found on PowerSchool. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to let Cheryl talk about maybe a little bit more about Chromebooks and extensions, maybe, Cheryl?
Okay. Let's see if I can share mine this time. Whoops. Okay. Wait a minute. I want to. Okay, so I think I've lost myself here. Meeting.
I think what maybe happened is when I went live, I didn't properly connect it to the event. So I've posted a link to the live page. Gosh, this is why I almost didn't create an event, because it seems trickier than it should be. So I'll send out a different text message and hopefully that will work.
In the meantime, it's being recorded. It can be posted. So.
Okay, so let's do this. Okay.
There you go.
Do I have that on there? Okay,
Yep,
so this
sure.
is not what?
You're sharing.
I'm sharing? Okay, because I can't see myself now for some weird reason on this Chromebook. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is that some of the teachers are using extensions, like Miss Sprankle is using Cami. These are extensions that are actually whitelisted through the school district. So they're ones that have been approved of by the school district. And my dogs just came in, sorry about that. So they have been approved by the school district, and the teachers can let you know which ones can be added to the Chrome. So when you're adding an extension, it has to be approved by the district. So you're going to go through and you'll see the extensions up here. So when you do like Cami, you can go through, and this one here, you can add it to the extensions. So when you add one, here, let me see if I can move the screen down a little so I can see. I want to add an extension. Okay, so this is the Google page. So when you're up here, this is where all your extensions are going to be. So these are the extensions that you can either pin or unpin, and you can manage, and you can put them onto, add them onto your Chrome. So say I want to add the scan. I'll just look one up here. Google scan extension. So you're going to come here and you're going to be in the Chrome web store. And this one here has already been added to the whitelist. So what you're going to do is you'll come over here and you'll add it to your Chrome. And you'll add the app. So now this one here is a scan that has been put into your extensions to use with your Chrome. So this one here allows you to scan your documents and upload them and put them into your Google Docs or anything like that to turn into your teacher. So there's all kinds of extensions that the teachers can use, and they are a list that is given to your teacher. So the teacher will provide you with the extensions that they want you to add. And that's all you're going to have to do, is you just have to go over and add them to Chrome. Any kinds of Chrome extensions that you guys look at that aren't allowed, you're not able to add them. So if you do try to add an extension, it will pop up that you will need an administrator to add the extension to the Chrome. The other part that I was going to say, see, I've got my thing here. I'm going to stop sharing this for just a sec. I can't get my screen to show me the same thing. Like, I see you up at the top, but I can't see myself on this Chromebook for some weird reason. I'm not sure what else we want to say about the extensions. Was there any? I think you're muted. I can't.
Good call. I think you covered it. Just that extensions allow Chrome and Chromebooks to do additional tools that maybe they can't just with Chrome. As an example, Cami is an extension that lets you annotate or draw and mark up on PDFs. Or like you said, the one you added was Scan, that would let you use the camera in the Chromebook to be able to scan a document and turn it into a PDF. So different teachers may want to use different extensions, and they should be letting students know which extensions to add, because we can't do that from school. We can't add an extension to a student's account and Chromebook remotely. They have to be the one that adds it. So, which I think, like I said, you'd mentioned. So I'm going to talk about Zoom versus Meet real quick, and then Cheryl, I'll come back to you for if a Chromebook isn't working or appears broken or whatever, you can talk about what they should do in that case. So in terms of attending class, virtual class, there are two ways that teachers are doing those classes. Hopefully most of them are using Google Meet. Google Meet kind of works in conjunction with the Google's G Suite for Education tools, which include Classroom and Google Docs and all the other ones. And that's kind of where the district is trying to go. That we're trying to be consistent in how we're doing everything. But there has been allowance for kind of a transition. So there are some teachers that might also be using Zoom. Both Google Meet and Zoom do the same thing. They allow groups of people to interact visually and virtually. It's just how you get into each of them could be a little bit different, and that could be confusing to people that maybe haven't used them before. So I just wanted to quickly kind of go over the differences, especially if you're on a Chromebook or using a Chromebook. The first time you try to join a Zoom, if you have to join a Zoom, it's going to want to install something on the Chromebook or on your own computer if it's the first time you've used Zoom on that computer. So that could be a little jarring. So Google Meets, hopefully the screen you're looking at is kind of the initial page of a Google Meet. And I'm going to join one just so you can see the code. If your student is joining a Google Meet, the teacher will have shared a Meet link. Often it's found in Google Classroom, or always it should be found in Google Classroom. Often you'll see that it'll be up here in this part of a Google Classroom for teachers. But some teachers are not using this feature, and instead they have made a post down here that has the permanent kind of Meet link for joining. When your student clicks on this link, they come into an environment that looks like this, and then they have to click the Join Now. If they get a screen that says you're not authorized or something like that, that means that the teacher has not opened that Meet yet, and that's a security feature. Students can't join a Google Meet until the teacher has opened and joined that Google Meet. So if you get that kind of message, my first suggestion would be you might be a little early to class and the teacher just hasn't opened it yet. If it's already past class time, like class was supposedly have started 2 minutes ago, that kind of is a different issue. Then it might be that the link you have might be to the wrong Meet. There might be some other issue, and you're gonna need to reach out to your teacher to confirm that the link that you're using is the correct link. Zoom is going to look a little bit different. It's not, so if you notice, Meet was all within the browser. It's all within a browser tab, right? Like it's all right here. Zoom doesn't necessarily happen just in a browser. Like I said, when you click on a Zoom, if your device, computer, Chromebook has not ever joined the Zoom before, Zoom's going to want to install a little piece of software on your computer. As far as I know, there's nothing malicious about it, but it is something that Zoom has to do in order to be able to have your computer interact with other computers using the same platform. So there's kind of two different ones. So it's important to know the difference too. If you are experiencing trouble and you're reaching out to the school to say, I can't join the teacher's class, if you're talking to Ms. Benedix or myself, it's important that we know whether you're trying to join a Meet or whether you're trying to join a Zoom, because there's different troubleshooting that we would need to do depending on which of those you're trying to join. Anything else on Google Meets or Zooms? Ms. Gillum, you're the Zoom expert at this point, or Cheryl?
I can't think of anything else. Those are really the main pieces of it. So.
Yeah, and I know it means the teachers have been trying, like you said, trying to put them up at the top. There are a couple of teachers, if you're looking and it's not up at the top, go like down to the bottom when they first joined the Meet, because it kind of just keeps scrolling down and down and down. And if you get down towards the bottom is usually your first meeting link. And that's the one that you'll use all the time to join the Meet. Yeah.
So I mean, kind of good tip, start in Classroom, like a good tip, right? Always start in Classroom. Find the link, find the correct link for the Google Meet. You know, and another thing too, in terms of Google Classroom that we've run across, some teachers have multiple classes for the same subject. And there has been some mixing around of students that have somehow ended up in the wrong period Google Classroom. So let's set, you know, as an example, if you were in geometry and there's 3 different classes of geometry by the same teacher, you might be in period 1, but somehow in Google Classroom you join period 3. And I believe in the name of the classroom, teachers have been good about trying to say what period that is. If you notice that it's period 3 and you're supposed to be in period 1, you need to reach out to the teacher and get that fixed, or have them help you get that fixed. Because if you're in period 3 trying to join a Meet for period 1, this link is going to try and take you to a Meet for period 3, not period 1. And you're going to constantly get the "you are not authorized" kind of error message. So We have had that come up a couple times already too. All right. So Cheryl, what if a Chromebook is not working, or some piece of it is just not working or functioning correctly?
Okay, with some of the Chromebook issues that have come up, a lot of it is trying to log on, and you have to make sure that when you log into it, that, I mean, you come to the first page, that it is your F number and that it hasn't changed anything after, and you need to go F number at student.k12northstar.org. So it has to say that across, and most Chromebooks for students are already set with that at student. So once you type in your S number, that's it. You should look over to the right-hand side and see if it still has the at student.k12northstar.org. Don't type past that, hit return, and then it is your password that you have used at school, the ones, as long as you haven't changed it or anything like that. If you've changed it, you need to make sure it's been synced with Google, because if it hasn't been synced with Google, you won't be able to log onto the Chromebooks. With something like that, you can try to go out to the main page, the k12northstar.org, go into Power School that way. You might be able to get on with that password, and then go up to the, I think it's the left-hand side in Power School. You'll see where it says Google Docs, and you'll see a green and blue arrow that's kind of turning on itself. That's your sync button. So you can sync your password with Google in Power School. So once you do that, then go back out. I mean, this you'd have to do on a different computer. Then go back out to your Chromebook and try to get in. I'm going to share one more thing here, if I can try to do this. I wanted to show the one thing, when you do get in, it'll ask you to sign on with Google, so hit that. There's a couple of ways to get to your classroom, because we've had a few issues with kids just trying to go straight to Google Classroom and it's not working. So if you go, let me see if I can do this again. No, that's not the right way. I'm not very good at sharing here, guys. Okay, I want to share this. Okay, so when you log on and you get into your into the Chromebook, up here you'll find this where it says k12northstar.org bookmarks. This is one of the best ways to get into either Power School or into ClassLink. So if you click on this, mine shows a lot more, but yours, I mean, yours will show Power School, and this one here where it says ClassLink Launchpad, that will actually take you right straight to, if it'll work here, sign it with Google. We'll see if this is going to work. So this is one of the best ways to get into your ClassLink so that you actually get to the right classes. So here's your Google Classroom right here. So this here is a better way to get into it than trying to go to ClassLink. That's part of the issues that we've been seeing with some of the kids that'll call, is they've gone just straight to ClassLink, or they've gotten onto the computer, but they went through Google and it's not letting them through. So this way, with the K12 North Star bookmarks, that means you are actually in the district parts of the school. So you've got your Google Drive there, you've got your Google Classroom, you've even got resources, you've got Power School Unified Classroom if they're using that. And if you have online textbooks, you've got textbooks right there. And even if you have an Apex class, you've got that. So that's part of the issues that we've been having with some of them. And let's see, some of the other things that have come up. are printing issues with the Chromebooks. Now, I've tried at home here, and mine was unsuccessful. But we tried it at school, and my printer at home is a really old printer, so it's not connecting because it wants an actual driver for this. But most printers, what we're finding is you can connect to your server, so, or your Wi-Fi or whatever you have at home. And many of them are coming up, and when you go to a document, it'll ask you to add a printer. So you can actually add your own printer. If it's a newer printer, it'll probably pop right up, because we've had a few people where it's like on Wi-Fi and it's a newer printer, so it just pops up. You can add, you can print it at home. The other one is if you can't get it to, you can actually hardwire it. So I don't know if you can see, I brought the cord home here. So it's a printer cable. So it's got a USB on one end, and then it's got this kind of squarish with a round end on the other. Most printers, if they're a little bit older, have come with one that you can actually plug into your Chromebook. And we did this at school, and the minute we plugged it in and we were off the net of the school, that printer popped up, and we were able to print from the Chromebooks. Like I said, mine here at home, my printer is a little bit on the old side, so it is not connecting even with that. With something like that, you might actually have to like send it to the teacher maybe, or even send it to the library. We could print it off at the library too if you couldn't get it to print at all. So that, I mean, especially if you were trying to turn it in or something like that. But hopefully it would work. Let's see, I wanted to show you one other thing here. So this was the part, if you just went to your Google Drive, and I was gonna do this. So when you're trying, oh, it's gonna be slow for me here. My internet is being picky on me today. Anyway. Print. The first thing that it's going to show you too with this is save it as a PDF, and you really don't need to do that. You can come down here to the see more, and this, it's going to show you the printers from your school because those ones have been added. But if you come down here to your manage, you can add a printer right here. See, mine is coming up right here, but then when I try to connect to it, since mine is old, it wants to set it up, which you can set it up if it will let you. Mine, I can find the brother.
Cheryl?
Yes.
When you shared your screen, did you just share from Chrome, or because we're not seeing? I don't think we're seeing everything that you're pointing to. So did you share your whole window, or did you just show, or did you just share?
I thought I shared. Let me see. Let's try that again.
Can you share a desktop maybe?
Shared. Yeah. Desktop. Okay. So if I share the desktop. Yes, see, not let, there we go. But I don't want to share us.
Yeah, okay. Because now we're seeing.
Now?
Yeah, now we're seeing stuff. So you were talking about and probably pointing at things that we weren't seeing. We were just seeing.
Whoops. Okay. Okay. So I might have had the other part sharing. Sorry about that. So this was the add the printer part. So you'll still see the school ones because those ones are added and they're on every Chromebook. But down here, you'll see add printer. And that's where you'll go and you'll add your printer. And I'm going to close this part here. See, mine pops up. But when I try to set mine up, it says it's no longer available. And what it should send up is it should put up a square that asks you what kind of printer you have, and then it'll add it. But since mine's an old one, of course, mine wouldn't do it, and it wouldn't do it with the cord either. So, but hopefully yours will be added. And if you can't add it, like I said, you can call us too at the library, and we can try to walk you through it and see if we can figure something out with that. That was printing. Oops. So as far as printing, I think that was pretty much it. Was there anything that you can think of?
Yeah, so there were two things. One, could you click on, don't stop sharing. Can you click on the K12northstar.org bookmarks? Because earlier when you clicked on that, it didn't, there, okay. That didn't show up because of only the way you were sharing. We didn't see all of the options.
Hearing the other side. Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we saw everything else. They just didn't see that part, that the drop down, so that they could see.
Yeah, I could see it on mine, but I didn't see what it was doing. Okay, yeah. So this is the bookmark part, and this is where the best way to go into ClassLink, or if you need to go into PowerSchool. So this is going to be your PowerSchool. I have more stuff on mine than you guys will. You'll have PowerSchool, you'll have ClassLink. There might be a couple other things on there, but these two right here, your ClassLink Launchpad, which will bring you to this one here, and then your PowerSchool, which will take you to your PowerSchool, an easier way. And like I said, you just need to log in with Google. Just make sure you hit with Google. Another thing that we did find with a couple of Chromebooks last year was instead of getting that login with Google, it was asking for, what was it, Microsoft. If it comes up and asks for Microsoft information, restart the Chromebook, because somehow something has gotten crossed. So you're logged in with Google, but Google and the computer aren't talking. So it is coming up and it wants you to log in with Microsoft. With that, you just hold down the power button and you can turn it off, or you can come down here. Which one is it? This one? Yeah, this one right here. And you can unconnect, you can sign out, and then you can also turn it off right here and restart it. So a lot of times if you get something that's really goofy that pops up or does something that you don't think it's supposed to do, restarting the Chromebook really helps. Some of the other issues, let's see what else has been going on.
Do you want to maybe show them files on a Chromebook?
Oh, the files, yep. Okay, so, oh. Do I remember where files was?
Click on search, the little search icon on the far left.
Far left.
Yeah, that right there.
Yep. Oh, that was the right one. Oh, see, I forgot about that already.
But
yeah, this one here down here is where you can search, and you have Chrome and the Play Store and Land School and your Zoom, like I have the Zoom on the bottom now. But there's also a file. So if you happen to save something in a small file, because this does have a little bit of memory on it, you can go, and here is the file. So mine is blank because I haven't saved anything in it. So your downloads would be in here. Any little recent things that you have done would be in here.
this is like a temporary storage. So you can't download like a whole video or anything like that. The Chromebooks don't have a hard drive really, but they do have enough of an hard drive or storage capacity that you could download a small file. So if you downloaded something to like the desktop, this is exactly where it would be. And for some reason, it's not attached.
Yeah, can you open that back up again?
Pardon?
Can you open that back up again? Because this is also, so some students are getting thumb drives with files and videos on them from teachers because they have internet difficulties. Like they might be in a place in Fairbanks that just doesn't get real great internet. And so files would also be where you would be able to go and see that thumb drive when it's plugged in. And so if you're trying to get to that thumb drive to see what files the teachers had given you, that's how you would do it on a Chromebook. You would go into files, and over on the left side over there where you see the My Files, downloads, play files, the thumb drive would show up over there. And so you could click on it and
yeah, I don't have a thumb drive handy either. I could show them.
So, but well, just showing them where it is that they can get to it. So if they do a thumb drive. Yeah, it
popped up here, and then once you click on it, then all your files that are on your thumb drive open right here.
Yeah, and if it's a PDF, you could click on it, and Chromebooks will actually open a PDF for you to be able to look at it. If it's a video file, Chromebooks will actually let you, or should let you play that video on a Chromebook.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to do a whole lot with those. Unless like on a PDF, unless you're using Kami, something that would let you.
Right, and Kami, and the one thing, that is the one thing with Kami, there is the extension text help. So if you go out to when you guys are in Kami, let's see if I can find the extension. What we've had trouble with some of the extensions is that, how can I get this thing to move down? I think I'm up too far. Is the fact that there's a couple of the extensions, the text help needs to be disabled. So it's the text help. Is that the right one? Oops, it might have been this one here. So what you want to do, the text editor for Chrome, is all you want to do is you don't want to remove it because you might need it for something else, is you just want to disable it. What we've been finding, and it doesn't happen on everybody's Chromebook, it's just been happening on a few of them, when they go to open a PDF in Kami, which allows you to highlight and annotate and make comments on the side, is that it won't let you open it, or it won't let you send what you've done on that document back to your teacher. It sends a blank form back to your teacher. And it's because of this app or this extension. And what we found is to have the students turn it off just for that time allows the student to then use Kami with the PDFs. So that was another issue, and that's in Miss Sprankle's class has been having trouble with that. But now that we can actually turn this off, it's been pretty good.
Yes. Okay. I think maybe I'll, if you stop sharing, I'm going to share my iPad and go over scanning real quick, and we'll see where we are time-wise. Have there been any Facebook questions, Sarah?
Say the kids.
I didn't want to interrupt you, Cheryl. No questions. I did post on Facebook, and I posted it in the chat here too, just the link to the Tech Resources for Parents website. And then I also listed the link to the Wi-Fi hotspot resources for parents.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. So one of the ways that teachers are doing assignments kind of in this remote virtual environment is by sharing out PDFs or asking students to turn back in annotated PDFs or pictures, or printing out a paper, filling it out, and then getting that back into the teacher somehow. And so I really quickly kind of wanted to go over scanning a document and turning it into a PDF. I am using an iPad, so that's going to look similar to an iPhone. If you don't have an iPad or an iPhone, all of the Android devices also have similar abilities. There are lots of apps out there that are free apps that you can install on your phone to make it a scanning app. On iPhones and iPads, though, it's nice that one app that comes with the iPhone or iPad is Notes. And so you can see the Notes app right there. When you open that, you get to see my shopping list from a few months ago. But down at the bottom right corner, there is a camera icon. And if you touch that camera icon, you get the choice to scan documents. And so if you click on Scan Document, it opens up the camera. I happen to have a document right here. And you don't even have to push a button. If you just hold it steady enough, you saw that kind of yellow kind of cover, that transparent yellow cover go over what you're scanning. And if you hold it steady enough and it's covering it, then the app actually takes the picture. You don't even have to hit a button. And so then I hit save, and now I have this PDF that or scanned document that now I could do something with. On an iPhone or an iPad, whenever you see this box with an arrow coming out of it, that's a way to share something. So if I touch that, I got lots of kind of options to share. And if you have on your phone, if you happen to have the Google Classroom app on your phone or your iPad, it'll show up in here, and I can just share directly with Google Classroom. If you have the Drive app, you could also share to your Drive. That might be another way that you could turn it into your teacher, is once you have it in your Drive, you could share it with them. So there's kind of some different ways of scanning a paper and then turning it in. So saving it either to Drive or saving it to Classroom. If you save it to Classroom, it actually pulls up a window, and you have to choose which classroom you're going to save it to. You have to be logged in on Classroom to the right account. So you can kind of see that if it doesn't take too long. So you can see it's already in a classroom that I'm in. But I could go over and I could choose a different classroom. And then once you're in there, then you could choose the assignment. They're not showing up because this is just my playground. I don't have a lot of stuff on there, but you could choose the assignment that you're having to turn it into, choose where to turn it in, kind of thing. I've already seen a number of teachers that have asked for students to take pictures of their work or something that they built or a project that they worked on, and then turn in that picture. And so that's a good way of being able to do it. I know there's teachers that have handed out PDF worksheets. If you had the ability to print it out so that they could use a paper and pencil and kind of work out things, and then wanted to take a picture of that to turn back in, that's a way that you can do it too. The scan extension that Cheryl was talking about earlier is a way that you can do that on a Chromebook. So if you don't have an iPhone or a cellular phone with data, or an iPad. By adding that extension we talked about earlier, you can do it on a Chromebook as well. Now, unfortunately, all of this kind of presupposes that you have internet. And so the last thing that kind of want to talk about is internet. I know we have a number of families at West Valley that, for various reasons might struggle with internet or don't have internet. And so we have, you can always reach out to your teacher and call the school or call the teacher, let them know somehow that that internet is a concern for you, or it's spotty or anything like that. We are offering alternate ways of kind of achieving in a teacher's classroom. So like we already mentioned earlier, thumb drives. We've had teachers that have started loading documents and videos and things on thumb drives. You can use a Chromebook without having internet, but you have to have logged into the Chromebook while you have internet. So that is kind of a good tip there. I don't know if we mentioned that earlier. When you get a Chromebook, make sure you have internet to be able to log into the Chromebook. Once you are logged in, don't log back out, and it doesn't matter if you have internet or not. Then you can still use the Chromebook. And if you were using that thumb drive, you could plug the thumb drive in, open up PDFs, save work, download things.
Yeah, and the one thing, can I interrupt just a second? The one thing we found out too was with that and going offline is you have to actually open up all the documents that you want to use. You can't just open Google Docs and not have anything else open, because once we shut off the internet, then you couldn't open up the documents. So when we had a couple of students do that, we had them log in and then open all the tabs that they figured they needed, then shut the internet off, and then they were allowed to work on everything. But you just don't want to close it down again, because then you can't get back into it. Yeah, it was just kind of a weird little offline thing.
Yeah. So the Chromebooks can be useful even if you don't have even if you don't have reliable internet. You just gotta. There are a couple workarounds to make that happen. Kind of, we got about 5 minutes left. And I don't think there's been any questions. I'm sure Sarah would have let us know, but please always feel like you can call the school. I would say, we would love it if you reach out to the teacher first if there's an issue. But if it's in the middle of class time and you're not able to join or something's going on, please, give the school a call. There's lots of us there that can help. Certainly, Ms. Benedix or I will work with you to try and solve an issue if we can. There are lots of other people in the building that are capable of helping troubleshoot too. So we don't want to add stress to this, to kind of this already stressful situation. Like, if there's something we can do to help, call us and we will try and troubleshoot for you and figure it out. And then if you do have a Chromebook and it breaks in some fashion, keys pop off, it becomes unusable for some reason, again, contact us, let us know. Like, the district wants to make sure that you have ways to participate in school and in class for your students. So we don't want a broken Chromebook to kind of come in between that. So give us a call. We'll figure out, if it's exchanging out the Chromebook or making a fix on the Chromebook you have or whatever, and let us know. And because we want kids to be able to participate and be active in their classes, even in the fully remote situation, and anything we can do to kind of help that, we're going to try and do. So, Sarah, anything?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else other than what you guys said. You guys did a great job. And, full disclosure, right? I am a parent of a 4th grader and a 2nd grader, I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable in tech, and like I've even struggled to navigate different things. So I guess we also just want to say that like don't feel like you have to struggle through it. Like, we're here to help you. If you're struggling now, of course, if it's not school hours, then we're not going to answer the phone. But anytime during 7 to 3:30, call the school and we will do whatever we can to help you. And if you need if you need more assistance, if you want to set up a little one-on-one time, or, you know, maybe we do a little conference, or you want to drive up and have us come help you do something, we can schedule that too. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Because we want to help you. Just like Mr. Gibson said, we don't want tech standing in the way of students engaging, and we're working through all of these little things right with you and finding those little you know, missing pieces to make it work. So yeah, I don't have anything else. I did, somebody on Facebook, the only comment was just thank you, that it was really informative. And of course this will live on Facebook, and it'll live on Facebook Live. And if you guys have any follow-up stuff or other questions, feel free to just let us know, email us, or put them in the comments, and we'll try to watch those. The sun is like suddenly like coming in my window super bright. I'm like, oh my gosh, the sun's coming out. So I don't have anything else, unless you guys have anything else that you wanted to share before we go.
Just that we're trying to boost Ms. Gillum's virtual presence. So I think we're going to try and keep having ideas for more webinars and more Facebook Live recordings. So
we did talk about that. So if you guys have other things, we talked about, you know, supporting your students, you know, emotional well-being during this. And we talked about maybe activities, you know, those different things that we normally would did. We have, of course, already talked about, we typically do in the fall a financial aid night. So we're certainly we're collaborating with the other schools to host one of those. And if you guys have other ideas for nights that would be helpful, or information that would be helpful, please just let us know, and we're happy to host them. So anything else? Otherwise we can sign off, because it's 3 minutes until the board meeting. So I'm going to shut down my computer and see if I can fix my little technology troubleshooting error I was having before. So
no, just make sure that they call if they've got an issue.
It's funny.
You
know, it's funny because I've set our phone number, which is 479-4221 so much, and the kids out in the world probably don't remember, like, the telethons that you remember, where they used to say the phone number over and over and over again. And I feel like I've set our phone number 479-4221 so many times, but it's kind of good. It's got like a nice ring to it. So 479-4221, that's West Valley. Get to the front office and they'll get you to wherever you need to go. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Gillum, for doing this tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming and doing it. I just sat back and watched Facebook. So, all right, you guys everybody out there have a great night, and we'll see you guys all virtually online again soon. Bye.
Bye.